Happy Friday, guys. So today I am going to be canning up a new recipe. It's actually a canning recipe my girlfriend Chastity tagged me on Facebook. She found it on Facebook. So I looked it over. It's just so pretty in the jars. I have to do it. Although I am going to tweak it. So I'm going to put the warning out right now, you know, buzzers and lights and everything, that this is not a canning recipe that you're going to find in a book. This is something I'm just doing. And of course, you know, you have to know your science. You have to do your research. So don't follow me. Just enjoy the video. And then if you're a rebel canner like me and you end up following me and doing this recipe, make sure you come back and let me know what you think. So we're going to do it together because I really want to make this this jelly for Thanksgiving leftovers this weekend. So turkey sandwiches, I think it's going to be fantastic in place of mayonnaise and mustard and all of that stuff. So what are we making today? We are making cranberry jalapeno pepper jelly. And it's going to be so pretty in the jars. I cannot wait. And as you can see from outside, it is the perfect day to can and warm up the house. So I think we got, I don't know, I think we got about 5 inches overnight. First and foremost, before every canning session, I don't care if I'm doing water bath canning or pressure canning, I always wash my jars, my lids, my rings in hot soapy water. I give them a good soak. I let them soak for about 10 minutes and then I wash them up really well. And then for water bath canning, which is what we're going to do today, I'm going to go ahead and put it in my canner and let them boil for about 10 minutes. And while my canner is filling with water, I figured I would show you guys the cute little Weck jars. Do you remember in the other video where I shared with you guys that I bought a box of them? I'll leave that video up above in a link, but this is how they turned out. They're absolutely beautiful. We are going to be canning in 2 Weck jars. I used 2 for the apricot, 2 for the pineapple, and I'll be using 2 for the cranberry. I wanted to test it out and see how easy they actually were, and they're really easy to can in. So for anybody on the fence about getting some Weck jars or asking for Weck jars for Christmas, fear not. They're really easy to can in, and we're gonna can in them today so I can show you. All right, guys, I got my jars in the canner. I've got my pot out. I've got my lids back there, just coming to a simmer. No, you don't have to do all these steps, and I think they also said you no longer have to sterilize your jars. But you know what? I learned from the best of the best, and this is just how I do. So this method has always worked for me, and I rarely, if ever have a lid fail on me. When I do, it's usually a lid that I am suspicious of to begin with. So this has always worked for me. You do what you want to do, but I learned from the old schoolers. So this is how I prep my jars. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring this canner to a boil. It's almost there. I'm gonna boil those for 10 minutes. Once my lids and rings start coming to a simmer, which they just about are, I will shut that off and just let them sit in that nice hot water. Not only do the glass lids from the Weck jars and those seals need that hot water, but for me, even on the new lids, they just seal better when that compound is loosened a little bit. Now you're gonna hear Mina's playing some homeschooling games on her Kindle. So, all right, guys, we're gonna get started on making some jam. So to my pot, I'm going to be adding 1 bag. I'll show you the bag here. 1 bag of fresh cranberries, and it should turn out, let's see, what's this, a 12-ounce bag, I think? Yep, 12-ounce bag. It should be just around 3 cups of berries. Should be right around 3 cups of berries, give or take a few. I did pick out about 4 of them that I just didn't like the looks of them. So, but I washed those thoroughly in nice cold water. So there goes our berries. Okay, now over here, I am going to be doing jalapeno peppers. Now, when I made my apricot pepper jelly, I did not wear gloves. And so now with the pineapple, I was smart. I put gloves on, and I'm going to put gloves on again. These are just non-latex gloves. And my sister friend over at Sutton's Days, Miss Elisa, gave me a bag. Actually, she gave me 2 bags of homegrown beautiful jalapeno peppers. She is also a pepper queen next to my girlfriend Chastity. So I'm going to choose 4 good size babies right here, and mine are frozen. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to run them under some warm water. I'm not going to thaw them out completely, but just running them under water will soften them up a little bit. But I'm going to go clean them up. And okay, so after giving them a nice bath, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut off the top. And then I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to slice this in half. Okay, just like that. And then I'm going to take this over to the garbage with a long iced teaspoon, just because they're a little smaller. And I'm just going to scrape out the seeds and the innards. And then I'm going to drop these 2 halves right into my KitchenAid, my 3-cup chopper. I'll leave a link to this down below. I got this off of Amazon. And I kid you not, it's one of my favorite kitchen tools, especially if you have arthritis in your hands like I do, or anything like that. This thing is my right hand girl right here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and come right back when they're all done. Now that I have them all cleaned, I'm just going to throw them right in my chopper. Not that this is a how-to video, because you know, don't do like me. And we're even going to see if this comes out. If it doesn't come out, this will be a what not to do. This will be a flubber video. All right, so I have that in there. I'm going to take my gloves off now. I really don't need them anymore. And I am going to be adding, well, it's going to be, let me get this bad boy open. I'm going to be adding some organic apple cider vinegar to this. What I want is 2 cups total, but I'm not going to add 2 cups to my chopper because it will spill out. So I'm going to pour 2 cups into this measuring cup here. If this recipe turns out as good as I think it's going to, in my head, I will be making more of this. So get you over here to my chopper, and I'm just going to add about a half a cup. Yeah, about that's a little less. There we go. About a half a cup. All right. I'm going to go ahead and put my lid on. And now I have mine set to, this little 3-cupper comes with a chop or a puree. I have it set to chop. Now, I like to pop it open and take a look at the chop. And I want them small enough, you know, for a jelly. And that to me looks beautiful. So there you have it. Let me see if I can pull that out to show you. There you go. So that's what the chop looks like. All right, I'm going to take this off of my machine. And we're gonna go take it over to the cranberries. All right, that's about as close as I can get, you guys, without making you fall in. So here we go. I'll get all of this scraped in because I don't want to miss out on any of this. All right, and then we're gonna start cooking this up now. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna add the rest of that apple cider vinegar. It's almost 1 whole bottle. In fact, I only have a smidgen left. So I'm just gonna dump the rest of the bottle so I can get rid of the bottle. I would call that 2 cups and a smidgen. Pectin. We are gonna be using 6 tablespoons of pectin, and I'm adding it to 1 cup sugar. 1, 2, if you watch any of my videos, you'll know I also add a smidgey, which is like always about a half a tablespoon. I've always just had luck with it, so again, you know, I do my own thing when I'm in my canning zone. So there is our pectin and our sugar. Now we're going to be adding a total of 6 cups of sugar to this. So this is 1 cup here. So I've got the remaining 5 cups in a bowl here. And I am going to go ahead and add pectin and sugar right in there. Oh, it already smells so good. Now what I did is I did a lot of research of, I'll actually leave you the link of the one my girlfriend, the actual recipe my girlfriend Chastity left me. And you guys can follow that one if you want. It inspired me, I'll say that. It's so pretty in the jar. I knew I wanted to make it, although I knew I wanted to do it a little bit different. So what I did is I researched about at least a dozen cranberry pepper jellies and jams. Some made with just juice, some made with the berry. Many add lemon juice, some add less sugar, some more. So what I did is I kind of took from there, just because I've made jam so much, I kind of know what works, at least for me, and what my family likes. So from that, I created this recipe. So here we go. Those who have never cooked cranberries before, you will hear them pop. Snap, crackle, pop. So just keep cooking it down. We want to get this to a rolling boil. That is a boil that we cannot stir down. So once we get it to that stage, we'll be ready to add the sugar. So just keep cooking. Okay, we are finally there. As you can see, when I stir this, it continues to boil even as I stir. And that's exactly what we want. So now's the time to start adding our sugar. Find my measuring cup here. And then I'm going to just start adding the sugar in. Try to stir here left-handed. Now, some recipes do call for adding a drop or 2 of food coloring to it. I went ahead and I did put just 2 drops of red food coloring in mine because the jalapenos kind of made it a murky color. Maybe if you didn't chop your jalapenos as fine as I chopped mine, it wouldn't do that. Of course, I chop mine fine because I've got littles who also like to eat pepper jelly and crackers, and they don't appreciate the really big chunks of peppers. So I like to chop mine pretty fine. So I went ahead and added 2 drops of food coloring. You do not have to do that. That is totally up to you. But I figured I'm going to be putting this on ham. I'm going to be putting this on turkey, really turkey breast. Not only turkey sandwiches, but I actually want to roast a turkey and use this as the glaze. I think it'll be really fantastic. It'll also be fantastic on chicken breast. So I might have only had to put 1 drop of food coloring though, not 2, because that is pretty red. Well, we learn as we go here. So, all right, now what I want to do is I just want to keep stirring this until it comes to a another rolling boil. I'm going to grab my timer here. When it does come to a boil, a rolling boil, which is a boil I cannot stir down, we're going to set the timer for 4 minutes, and I'm going to stir this baby for 4 minutes straight. I'm going to make sure that that pectin, everything's activated and wonderful and happy. And I'm going to add right now is about, not quite a tablespoon, a little bit, I guess you'd say between a half and a full tablespoon of butter. And that's just going to help the foam stay down. Now some of you have missed my long-winded talky vlogs as I make a very long canning video. Some of you don't appreciate it, some of you do. So this video definitely is for those who really enjoy my longer videos where I don't leave out any steps. I try to include as many as I can for you guys in between being mom and answering phone calls, and I got a girlfriend stopping by today. So thanks for hanging in there with me. Matt has been traveling quite a bit for work lately, so I've been trying to do all the things, and some things just have to give, and unfortunately lately it's been time to make videos. So all right, we're getting there. We are getting there. Let's see this baby boil here. I like to really watch it. I like to really make sure it's at a good rolling boil before I start the timer. And I think this is where a lot of people struggle with pectin, and you know, I do too. That's why I really like making preserves, because you just kind of cook the fruit down and let it condense, and you don't have to bother with the pectin. But this is where, especially those who are new to canning, always get tripped up a little bit when their jams don't set. And it really is this rolling boil. Okay, we're there. So I'm going to go ahead and start my timer. This is going to be 4 minutes, and you do not want to leave this. My spatula here is not going to stop for 4 minutes. And this is why I don't like making jelly and jams, because you will get burned. This stuff is going to splatter, and it's going to be like liquid lava on your hand when it splatters up on you. Just hang in there, or wear a long sweater. All right, hold on, guys. All right, 3 minutes. Got 3 minutes left here. Now, cranberries have a lot of pectin. There are some recipes that didn't call for any pectin. There are some recipes that only called for a tablespoon of pectin. Most of the recipes that I found called for the 6 tablespoons. So that's what I rolled with. But like I said, this is kind of like a test recipe. So depending on the results, I will tweak and twist and make notes on my notepad that will go in my cookbook. And so next time I make this, which will probably be soon because I have 4 more bags of cranberries in my fridge. All right, we're 1 minute left. And I'm filming this not to bore you, but for those who are new, so you can see the entire process and what everything will look like, okay? All right, and with that, we are going to shut this off the heat. I'm going to continue to stir though, because it's going to continue to boil. Now, my Amish cookbook, canning cookbook, which I absolutely love, it's my favorite canning book, always recommends that you let this sit for about 4 to 5 minutes. That way, then you can stir it and the fruit won't float to the top when you're making jams. So, all right, I'm going to clear everything out. I'm going to lift my jars out of the water bath canner, and we're going to get cracking here on filling our jars. All right, and I'm hoping you guys have a good view there. Right, so you always want to make sure that everything is sterilized. All of my utensils have been ran through the dishwasher. I always bring out 1 jar at a time when I am water bath canning. That just kind of makes it so that, you know, your jars stay nice and hot, because we're doing very hot liquid, hot jars back in a hot water bath canner. So the Weck jars, I will say, are a little tricky when it comes to the funnel, unless you have a, you know, a kind of a thinner funnel. They don't fit the funnel very well, so you want to be careful when you pour into these jars, because it can leak out. Okay, and then you want to debubble. Okay, now I don't have to check the set to this because it's set. But I always stick a couple of frozen spoons in my freezer to freeze. And then I will bring this out, and then you can look at it. Oh, let's see if I can't get the lighting a little better. Sorry guys, it's getting dark in my house. So there we go. All right, and then of course, before you can it, you want to taste it. Wow, that is really good. It is very tart. You would think that the sugar would make that really sweet. It's got a nice tart bite. The jalapenos, oh, give it a real heat at the end, but it's still got some sweetness to it. That is good. All right, Matt and my boys especially are gonna love it. All right, so I'm gonna just go ahead and clean the rims. Now, this is a Weck jar, so I'm gonna show you guys how easy this is. All right. Now I do have some under cabinet lighting that Matt's gonna put in for me, and hopefully that'll end up making video quality a little bit better as far as lighting, since it gets dark here so early now. So I'm gonna get out the glass lid, okay, and the rubber seal, the little gasket here. And I like to line it up this way. I've got the Weck strawberry on this side, and I like to keep, well, that's all you do. It's almost like a Tatler, except it's easier than a Tatler, to be honest with you. Of course, these are not cheap. And you're gonna take the little clamp, and you're gonna clamp it down on opposite ends. Okay, just take it, clamp it down, and that is it. That's it with a Weck jar. After this cools and you go to wash up your jars, you're just going to remove the clamps, and that's it. See that? So pretty. All right, let me get this in the canner and pull out the other Weck jar. And we'll do it again together, because I know many of you were very interested in the Weck jars. Again, great Christmas gift. You know, you got a girlfriend who loves to can. For $20, you can get her a little set of Weck jars, and know that it won't be difficult for her to use, and they will be so pretty. I'm not sure how much this recipe will yield, so we will see. Let me grab a spoon here for the overflow. Okay. I'm going to scoop a little bit more out. Okay. I'll go ahead and trying to protect those edges as much as possible, so I am pretty messy. Go ahead and clean that rim there. Alright, let me pull out the other gasket. It's time out. Other way. So really easy. Just putting on the gasket, putting it down, and then grabbing 2 clips. One for the front and one for the back. And then I'm just going to store these clips in one of those little snack baggies, and I'll keep them with my my lids and rings. And that's it. Alright, there's our Weck jars. Alright, these cute little, what I like to call the pepper jars, because I only put pepper jelly in these because they're just so pretty. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and stir that down, and you can take just a little bit more. It's a 1/4 inch headspace. I usually do between a 1/2 inch and a 1/4 inch. And I can definitely put some more in there. There we go. Now, I know many people always ask me, can I double the recipe? In canning jellies and jams, you usually don't want to double the recipe because it can really affect the pectin. So, that one's a little too full. Let's get some of that out. So, I say if you're new, follow the recipe to the T, and then that way you can't go wrong. Just do another canning session, that's all. Alright, there we go. Alright, so I'll go ahead and, okay, now we're going to go ahead and put hi baby. And put it on it. And then okay, fingertip tight. These make such pretty gifts. I will lift this up and show you what these look like. I apologize for the lighting, but there we go. Alright. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and fill the rest of these jars, and then I will bring you back when I am all done. So, I think I'm going to be able to get this jar done, and a little smidgen. One of those little 4-ounce cuties that I actually like to give away as little tasters. Look how pretty that is. So, I'm going to go ahead and get that one out. I'm going to take out some of these other ones. I'm definitely going to make another batch of this. Four good size, one big jar, which I'll be using for my turkey, and then this little smidgen cutie to give as a little taster, or sometimes I have friends who like to try something but then they feel bad taking a whole jar because they don't know if they'll like it. So these little 4-ounce cuties come in handy for that. Alright, let's fill this up. Oh, it's so pretty. Alright, let's get that cleaned up. And lid on there. And a ring, fingertip tight, and there you go, little cutie. Right, so there we have it. I'm going to get these arranged a little bit better, and I'm going to lower these into the canner. We're going to process this for 10 minutes, and then I'm going to shut off the heat and let these sit in my canner with the lid off for about 5 minutes. And then I'm going to pull them out, and then I'm going to show you what they look like. As my canner is coming up to a rolling boil, I thought I would show you the sauce and the set. It's beautiful, and this is going to be beautiful poured over a brick of cream cheese. Serve it with crackers. That's how I'm going to do it. I'm also going to be using this in place of a mayonnaise or a mustard when I make leftover turkey sandwiches. I'm going to smear this on the bread, because I think it's going to be fantastic. So, really, really pretty. Alright guys, I think you're aimed good. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and pull these straight out of the canner. And show our little Weck jars. And then our big pretty pepper jars. And I better get a towel over here. Messy Heather. Alright. And then our little smidgen. Okay. Woohoo! Alright, so let me look around there and look how pretty. I don't think I'm going to change the recipe at all. I think if I added less sugar, I just don't think I think it would be too tart, and it really just does give a little bit of sweetness to it. I don't think I'm going to change the recipe at all. I really liked the consistency, and I really liked how it tasted. Very pretty, delicious. I have, don't look at my mess there. I do have these jars. I'd like to do 2 big jars. This would be used for, you know, if I'm serving a lot of sandwiches, or if I'm going to use it to coat a turkey breast, or even a ham or a pork loin. And then see if I can't get a couple more little jars out of it. So I'm going to use these jars up tomorrow and make this again. So, alright guys, I really hope you enjoyed this recipe and coming along with me as I winged it. And let's see. I got 6 jars out of that. Ooh, and those are popping. I ended up with 16 jars of the apricot and 12 jars of the pineapple. So nice supply on my pantry shelf for sure, and a lot of gifts to give out. So alright guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video. I'm probably going to do those again as well, and if you're interested in either one of those recipes, let me know. This one I can do right away. This one I need to get more apricots for. I use dried apricots on that one. I usually use the method where I let the apricots sit overnight in vinegar. It's a long process though. This time I put them in boiling water, shut it off the heat, added the apricots, put a lid on it, let it sit for 30 minutes. Worked like a charm, much faster, much easier. And but I need to get more apricots for that. but I want to make both of those again. So let me know if you're interested in either one of those videos when I go to do those. And as always, guys, I will be seeing ya. All right, bye guys.